All right, you groovy grasshoppers, and I do mean groovy. It is Monday morning, 11, a little bit before 11 o'clock. We couldn't wait to get on here. Um, really quickly, I need to notify the world. I know you told me before I had a couple of sites, right? You said had the runny poops, so I had a pair of sites, right? And all is good now. Long, firm poops, everything's good.
So,
How was your weekend? How was your Thanksgiving? Anything good?
well, everything's good now that I know that. I mean, I was concerned.
Really, I let one go today. There, the first thing in the morning. That sucker had to be one of those ones like a foot and a half long, curls around and everything. Oh,
They got a site, Rate My Poop. You could send it in. No, they do.
what's that?
When the kids were little, I think Sean was 12. He told me there was a Rate My Poop like site,
Oh, is that right?
some kind of app or something.
Isn't that what they do now to check for your colon cancer or something too? Like they send in the
Well, yeah, that's a different way to test it. But
yeah.
in all truthfulness, it's an indicator of health or illness.
Oh, is that right?
By observation, yeah, yeah.
The color, the texture, all that kind of stuff. Yeah.
I try not to dwell on it too much. I know when I wake up, man, I don't feel good. I don't.
What you think about, like, it's viewed as this gross thing, but really it's a natural thing that comes out of your body, right?
Yeah.
I mean, if it's really that gross, what's it doing in your body? It should be. Right? Mark Puttenvink, Patriot Training Systems.
Yeah, man.
Sexy. Oh, look at our buddy here. Right off the bat here. Keith Morano.
Keith, I knew Keith would be. There he is. He's coaching a high school team here locally.
Oh,
and they have their first game Friday. So.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Very good. Good.
Keith's a good.
I know we like to joke around and have some fun, but I guess we should start off by saying send out our best wishes or our heartfelt for that young boy in Long Island that passed away during a charity game. Did you see that?
I did not. I was trying to figure out because I saw some stuff posted and they didn't go into detail. What happened?
Yeah, it's like 17 years old. I guess he's a high school player. Connor Casson, I believe, is his correct pronunciation. Kasin. They're playing a charity game, and I guess during intermission, they really didn't say exactly. You assume it's some heart condition or something that he
cardiac
arrest, and then they got him to the hospital. And he passed away at the hospital. So.
It's one of those things that if it was congenital and there was no reason to ever test him for it, especially at that age.
Yeah.
Sometimes even that it's hit or miss. Years ago, when I was helping out Robbie in Albany, there was a kid that Gordy Kinnear, and he had to sign a waiver to be able to play because he had some kind of congenital heart issue going on. Thankfully, nothing ever happened, but yeah.
Yeah. I guess from the articles I read, I guess a bunch of people, there was no medical personnel there, which usually it's a charity game, but
should still have it.
Yeah, I guess the people from the stands, a few people jumping out of the stands and tried to resuscitate them.
Yeah. And they're supposed to, by law, have
the defib.
Defib there, yeah. But if it was quick and sometimes do you recall the Russian kid going back a period of time? I think it was a Ranger draft pick too.
Yeah,
it was
he was in Russia, right?
Yeah, it was in Russia. It was a kid, and somebody I know, I forget who was telling me because they were there, and they said it was pathetic. I mean, they had him on a sidewalk, and it was horrible.
I know. And I had to, when I was coaching, I'm sure you did too, and I was coaching the high school team that had me take the Red Cross
CPR.
Yeah, and the defib, it really guides you through it too.
It's easy. Yeah. If we could do it, it's easy.
Yeah, no kidding. Sad story. Seems like he, as usual, always saying great things, but the coach got on talking about how a great coachable kid he was and everything. So
I just saw on the internet a kid from Alabama A&M had a serious head injury and died like 3 days later.
Yeah, a football player, right, John?
Yeah.
And then it was it was a hockey player, but not hockey. But the boy was driving home with his father in Missouri or something, right? And got shot.
St. Louis, that's a weird story too.
Yeah, it's like he's just driving down the highway and some random
shooter. Never know, man.
I know, and not to get morbid. I mean, it's terrible we lost those young people, but kind of shows you, right? Every day, God, yeah.
I'd appreciate it.
Yeah.
And then let's talk about that hit on Trevor Lawrence yesterday. That guy should be banned because apparently he has a history too.
Yeah. Well, there's no. Let's see. Well, I'm trying to make a tackle. He wasn't trying. Like when you go to make a tackle, you're wrapping your arms around somebody. This was a forearm.
Yeah, he did this the slide that they all do. And there's a code. You just hand touch the guy.
Yeah.
He came in and he had like some kind of brace on his arm.
I know.
It was bad.
It's like I have seen times where if a guy's coming in, he wants to hit the quarterback, right? So the quarterback goes down, and the player will make sure he goes over top of the
Right.
Right. He's committed himself, but he can control it.
You don't want to end a guy's career,
It seemed like the weekend was a mess with college football, man.
Ohio State, Michigan, and then was it North Carolina State, North Carolina, UNC?
Wow.
Yeah. And there was something going on after the Penn State game too. They were drawn. The coach of Maryland. I think he accused him of running up the score. He said, "I had 3 and 4 out there," meaning his third, fourth unit. And what am I going to tell those kids? Don't play football. You still had your number 1 units on out there.
Yeah, and that's a good call. Yeah, it's an opportunity to play those kids that don't get a chance to play, and they're going to go all out. Yeah. I mean, you know what I noticed too, and unfortunately, it cost. Here's our buddy William Haynes, a great veteran.
Morning, William.
So they fired the coach Everflus out there,
and that was a great game, though.
Oh yeah, I mean, and that was bad. The whole he's got a rookie quarterback in. How old's the kid? So you've got to take charge there as a coach. But there's a few times like that in some NFL games lately. It's like the coaches are you kind of wondering are they in the game or not. But
that's got to be a tough job, man.
Yeah.
Because there's so many decisions you got to make like real quick. Yeah. And
yeah.
Do I even have to mention it?
What? Oh, the Jets. Well, you know what I think it's really turned into a soap opera, many reasons. But so Rodgers, I mean, he made some good plays, I thought too. But there's others who are.
He better. He's an NFL quarterback.
Yeah, throws the pick 6. And then he says after he was asked, he says, "Well, there's 11 players on the field. I guess I'm one of them."
He never wants to take.
Yeah. If you're going to be a good leader, some guys go over the top with this, but to say, "Listen, I messed up on that play." Yeah.
I got it. All you have to say is I have to do better.
Yeah.
That's all.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. But it's another, I guess they're saying he's not coming back, although he's not saying that next year. I don't know how he can come back, right? How do they?
I mean, the guy's just turned 41 today.
Yeah.
And you could see yesterday, he has no mobility.
I know.
He can't get out of the pocket. And you saw Geno Smith very good at getting out of the pocket, creating play. And I think I don't know how many pocket quarterbacks, except for Tom Brady, probably was the last one to really. But now they're all they're really like running backs that can throw back there.
And you kind of wonder though, who's the guy, R.G. Griffin, that was in Washington that years ago was going to be the running quarterback and everything. He got hurt.
Because he played with reckless abandon.
Yeah.
He just kept getting hurt. And I can't fault the guy for that.
Yeah. No, yeah. You loved his heart and everything like that. Yeah. Okay. One of my pet peeves, so when I talk about the Giants, like to talk about the culture, you're big on that, right? The culture was football, marriage, whatever it is. You have a culture that you build. So the Giants are, and I get the Mara family and the Tisch family who owned the team seem to be really classy people and everything. Mm-hmm. But when I see them honoring Lawrence Taylor, it just drives me nuts. Like this guy's a registered sex offender. And I mean, they talk about building a culture for the organization. It's like, oh God.
Yeah, no, I agree. I mean, that's like Buffalo enshrining O.J. Simpson. I mean, not quite the same, Lawrence didn't kill anybody. But it's still, it's not a good look for sure. Yeah.
How about that Buffalo game last night with the snow and everything? That was pretty cool.
That's cool, right?
Yeah.
I love those games.
How about all the people stuck in the highway there in Pennsylvania and everything for days?
Yeah. I mean, upstate New York, Pennsylvania, they really got whacked by the storm.
Yeah. Yeah.
Buffalo, you expect it. They got the lake effect, but
lake effect snow. See, I like that. As you talk, when you talk like that, it's kind of sexy when you talk like that, like a
good friends with Jim Cantor.
Yeah, well, it kind of reminds me like a lot of those news women, they're kind of sexy, they wear the tight dresses and everything. Yeah. So when I hear you talk like that, lake effect snow, I have the vision of you wearing a tight dress
in front of the green screen.
Yeah,
over here we got the lake effect. Yeah,
I know. That's quite an art. They do that, right? They make it look like really. Yeah,
it's pretty cool.
Yeah, and some of them make it look like Sam.
Sam Champion.
Sam Champion. He's not good at that. You can tell that he's looking over to the side. Some of them have that way where they can make it look like they're looking at the actual green screen.
Here's what I want to know. All right. So how old were you when you said, I want to be an NHL player? 5, 6 years old?
6, yep.
What 5-year-olds want to be a weatherman on TV?
Yeah, I know it is. Yep. Right? I guess they've got to really get into that whole.
Yeah. And once they get that job, they're there forever. Like Mr. G. I mean, he's 150. He's still.
Yeah.
And Sam Champion's been around forever.
Sam Champion. Yeah. This is the guy that does Channel 7 locally here. I can't remember. Little guy. he's pretty good too. I think
Yeah, they're all. I mean, yeah.
But yeah, the women, you notice they do see like and obviously don't tell them, they have to do it. They get the attractive women, tight dress.
Tight dress.
Good
There's
boy.
Maverick.
Yeah, good boy.
Keeping you safe, man.
Yeah, he is.
You
It's
know,
okay, Mav. Yeah, he's good. It's funny when it's somebody else's dog. I mean, when Sophie barks.
yeah. You get all jacked up.
Mav, come on. He hears the neighbor's dogs and everything too, so he's good. Oh, he had a poop today, man. Oh man, smell
You
it.
guys had a good day, huh?
Yeah, it was a good poop day. Man, it was one of those ones, like you get the plastic bag, you turn it inside out, and you pick it up and everything.
Yeah.
But I had to use the full hand. I didn't want to go back for a second stab at it. I get the whole.
You got to bring a garbage bag with you.
Yeah.
Big dog.
Hold on. We got some negative comments here by I don't visualize you guys as sexy at all. Mav in here. Yes, Mav. Oh yes, good boy. You saving Grandpa?
Danny, that's a pretty accurate observation.
Oh, that's not true at all. Well, it's in the eye of the beholder, right? I mean, some people find it sexy.
Yeah. I'm telling you, man, I keep getting hit on like these 89-year-old women at the Acme. I could run a little. I can get a little thing going there.
Are they pretty like obvious? Are they?
Oh yeah, they just start talking to you. Like,
is that right?
Yeah. Wow. I'm a kid to them, man.
Now, do they come right out like they talk any sexual adventure over a glass of wine and like that?
How's your father?
That's your father.
That's what they ask.
Oh, what's funny is we were out years ago. We were the men's hockey league. You went someplace, the wives were all there and like that. We had some place, and this young girl was like talking to me all the time, like nonstop, like you're sitting on me. So everybody's like, "Oh, Tom, good job." She was hot and everything. And before we leave, she goes, "Listen, I want to give you my aunt's phone number." Like she was talking to me.
There you go. Yeah. See, that's the way it works now.
Good boy. You're a killer. You're a watchdog. Yes. Now what's Sophie like? Is Sophie like really cuddly and everything like that? Like to sleep in your bed?
She's very independent. Like, she'll she's not a lap dog. I mean, she'll lay by for a while and she'll get up and go over there.
Yeah. Matt's like that too. He's very sweet and all that kind of stuff.
When they're in the mood, they're in the mood. If not, but the moment I walk in the kitchen, remember how Kramer used to crash into Jerry Seinfeld's apartment? Yeah. Because she figures this, there's a good chance she's going to get something.
Well, Mav knows where the tracks are, the treats are too. So
yeah.
Hold on. Let me see here. What do we got here? It's a very good Knuckles episode. He had Al Secord on. Yes,
I watched some of that. It was good. Yeah, Al was like what I call an honest player. Got 20, 25 goals a year.
Yes.
Fight.
Yeah.
Play strong.
My funny Al Secord story is he's playing in Chicago and I'm in front of the net with him. You know how you kind of like push on the back of their knees a little bit to get them off balance? Yeah. So I did that with Al. He was losing his balance, so he kind of went backwards. His stick hit me in the face and cut me. They gave him a 5-minute penalty. And I felt so bad. I went I said, Al, I'm sorry. And he was like, he was a tough guy too. He's like, what am I going to do? Right. Yeah. Guys apologize for doing so. Yeah. Let me see here. I had 2 bran muffins and results were epic. Nice. Good job. The brand does that, right? Yeah. Yeah. What you doing? Oh, yes, you are. You're a good boy. Here's Susan Brooks. I don't know what happened. We lost a connection with Susan Brooks. We got the Mountain Man thing going on. She says, yeah. You get the flannel going quite a bit too, don't you? You like wearing the flannel?
I all the time.
Yeah, you've grown the beard too. At least you have the Fu Manchu going once in a while, right?
Yeah, yeah. Everyone probably gonna get one going soon for that.
Yeah, I kind of like it. I wasn't. I've kind of got the scruffy way, but I like the whole beard.
Yeah. They call it the poor man's facelift.
Poor man. Where my chicken?
There it is.
Ben Wilson. Man, that's the second time I did a podcast with a guy. It's awful. I can't remember his name. He's getting Ben Wilson on. He asked me too, like we do in the podcast, who's the one guy you hated in the NHL?
Ben Wilson.
Ben Wilson. Yeah. He was nasty. Man, he would do some stuff that just didn't make sense at all.
Yeah, I heard it was like that with his own teammates.
Yeah. Well, we had a guy on, and I won't mention his name. He went by Flocky Hockey.
Yeah.
And he was very delicate the way he said it, but they roomed him with Ben Wilson. He had to go to management after a while. It was a training camp. He says, I can't room with this guy.
Guy's nuts.
Yeah. And I guess like Wilson would do things on the ice to Flockhart in training camp. Yeah. And they come back to the room after, and the guy's sitting there waiting for Wilson to get back. And Wilson's going, geez, I'm sorry. I just kind of lost my mind.
Well, at least he knew it.
Yeah, definitely. We got here Danny Erickson. The metamorphosis into Dua Lipa. I just wouldn't believe it. If you tell me that Tom will metaphoricize Dua Lipa. Now, have you seen Dua Lipa? Is she a hot singer? Like,
yeah, I guess so. She's a pretty attractive girl.
Yeah. Huh. Interesting. Because
By the way, go ahead.
Yeah, you go.
Watching this thing on Amazon called Lioness. Man, it's good.
Oh, is that right?
Really good. It's another Taylor Sheridan. I mean, that guy's hot. He's got.
I know. He's got Landman and everything going on.
Landman's great too.
Yeah, it was good.
Yeah, really good.
Yeah,
Billy Bob Thornton. I'm not a big fan, but he's really good in this.
Yeah, he's got some great one-liners there too. Right? Man.
Well, that's the thing. The writing in like Tulsa King, Landman, Yellowstone. The writers are really good.
So is Taylor Sheridan the writer, producer, the whole?
He's everything, man.
Yeah. And then he also owns that ranch that they're producing, promoting all the time, the 4 Sixes Ranch down in Texas.
Yeah, I mean he's all over the place.
Wow.
He's actually in Lioness.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he plays one of the special operators. Yeah, he's pretty jacked.
Oh, yeah. He's in Yellowstone as well. So
yeah,
Yellowstone's getting really deep, man. They're starting to kill people off and like that. It's getting
Yeah, but this Lioness, same thing. It's really good, and Landman's tremendous too. So
yeah.
Bob
Thornton. But he's got the hot daughter too, right?
Like, yeah, and the ex-wife. She reminds me of someone I know. But anyway.
How was Chris Katsopoulos as a teammate? He was bigger than you. He was a Toronto-born fella. Yes, he was. So Kotze was an excellent player, actually. Really knew the game well, passed the puck well, shot the puck, was good in the power play, penalty kill, tough as nails. He was very outspoken. So this is a young player. I've told the story, especially back then. Younger guys coming up, but you know this, were supposed to be sit in the corner. Yeah, keep your mouth shut. You'll have your turn to speak, but there's a whole hierarchy, right? You got to pay your dues and everything. Well, Kotze didn't quite go by those rules. So they initiated him my rookie year. It was also his rookie year. We roomed together. And they initiated him. I've never seen some of the stuff they did to him before. They made me watch too. They came over to me after they were done. They go, "Are you going to?" Yeah, no. They said, "Are you going to talk anymore this year?" No, sir. I am not talking. Yeah.
Does that go on anymore? I don't think that even goes on anymore, does it?
Yeah, nothing. Yeah. If it does now, yeah. And looking back at it, we've talked about this. I think, like, what were we doing? That was stupid. And I did it too. And I look back, it did nothing for me, nothing for the player, nothing for the team.
It's caveman stuff.
Yeah, I guess we were following along with what everybody else was doing.
Yeah, that's the way it was back then.
Yeah, definitely. Guys, have a great week. My training. Oh, go get him there, sir.
Yes, sir. Have a great one. Thanks, William.
Okay, what do we got here? Danny's back. Talk about ancient history in the playoffs in 1845. Oh, is that what a record was? Wow. Yeah, I've never missed the playoffs. Well, there's only 21 teams back then. 16 made the playoffs. So, Oh, so the Rangers went 0-5. And then they played Montreal at home, showed some bite, had some fights and everything. But I just don't know if that, right? You're shaking your head there. I just don't know if that's who they are as a team, right?
No. And I'll tell you why I'm shaking my head. They're definitely getting the Philly flu, because when Berard came down, he took a shot. It was a nice play. Goaltender made a save. There's a whistle. There's a change. He's going to the bench. 4 guys surround him. Not one Ranger.
I didn't see that. Oh,
and that's what I said to myself. This is not a team. It's a group of individuals.
Yeah, and they're so talented too. You wonder what's gone on, because all this stuff broke about the trade, like trading Kreider and traded Trouba.
Too much publicity with that. Too much going public.
Well, I kind of wondered that. That hasn't been Drury's way. Like, did something happen that he felt like he needed to do that, or? Yeah.
I mean, we don't look. For people that follow the Rangers and Ranger fans and people who understand hockey, we don't need to be told who's having a bad year. We know. Yeah. Just so do something about it. Don't publicly humiliate people.
And that's what I mean. That doesn't seem like that's Drury's way. I almost feel like there's a purpose. Like there's something going on that maybe
whatever it is, it's not working.
Yeah.
I mean, so Riley Smith, big acquisition. He's a healthy scratch. What are we, 20 games into the year?
Yeah, I know. Yeah. And so they finally got Kreider and Hedl back, which is
Hedl's getting, like at any moment. That's the problem. I mean, a tremendous player, great kid, I guess. I don't know, but
you got to, in fairness to him, you got to be wondering, right? Like every time he gets hit, does he think to himself, you can't play in the NHL like that, worrying about getting hit. That's not his fault.
I'm very disappointed in a lot of things with that team. But that when I saw that, I said,
Yeah. Yeah. Let me see here. Miko Lennon was a favorite of mine. Do you have any? Oh, great. Miko Lennon. Remember him?
yeah.
Really skilled Finnish player. Great guy. But he was like this wound really tight. Like he got mad. So there was one great story. You seen them slap shot where the guy's taking his equipment off during the game and kicking his shin pads out.
Oh, yeah.
So he didn't go that far, but we were in Winnipeg, and a whole bunch of things came to conclusion. And ultimately, I think Miko got a penalty that he thought he didn't deserve. I can't remember how far he went. He started taking his equipment off. I think he took his jersey off and his shoulder. And it was so. In one way, it was out of character because he's such a good guy. Another way, it was in character because he was like, wow, God, the skill, man. He'd run the power play, him and Ray Ruotsalainen.
Ruotsalainen was tremendous.
Yeah.
He could rip it for a little guy. Holy crap.
He was funny, too. The first couple of months, he didn't speak at all. And then we brought him to the bar finally. I had got a few vodkas there, the Finnish guys with their vodka. And all of a sudden, he just wouldn't stop talking.
He's a good player.
Yeah. Oh, could skate, shoot. Yeah. Good team, and didn't back down like the tough stuff and everything too. Like he obviously wasn't going to give it out, but he sure did back down from it.
What did he weigh? Like 175?
Yeah, small little guy. Yeah, I guess he's teaching skating over in Finland or something now too.
That's the guy you want to learn from.
Yeah, very true. I've told you a story too. So my second year, Herb Brooks' first year, was when they brought Rayo in, and our training camp was over in Finland, where he's from, obviously. So like Herbie had these drills. Where he would move the nets up a little bit, and we had to go around 3 times in 45 seconds. Mm-hmm. And of course, us old dummies, we want to cut really tight around the net, right? Which is basically slowing you down, as you know. Where Rayo, he knew he was smart enough as a skater to go wide around the net, keep the strides going while he's crossing over. So he didn't lap us, but he came 3 times close. He came close to the point where and then we ultimately learned that we need to go wide, but we still weren't going to catch him based on the way he was.
Yeah, he was a tremendous skater.
Yeah, it was good. It was good. Hold on, one more question. Danny Erickson. That's Danny Erickson again. I'm hoping the Rangers fool us so I can go around to it. Yeah, and that's the thing. They haven't played well, but, it's still a credible team, fantastic goaltending.
So they play New Jersey tonight, so this should be a good test.
Yeah.
Here's something interesting I was watching on the internet. And the guy was making the case why Shesterkin should be traded. Not that he's tremendous, not that he's a Ranger, none of that.
Right.
He said, look at the past, I forget what he went off, like 10 or 12 years, who the winning Cup goaltender was. Mm-hmm. And it's not who we would think it would be. I mean, there was a couple outliers.
Like Vasilevsky was one guy that was a star player. But it's guys like Darcy Kemper, the guy in Vegas.
Matt Murray.
Yep.
Cam Ward.
Yep. Guys that aren't typically looked at as star goaltenders. Yeah. So, there's a case to be made for that. Yeah.
Yeah. You spread that money around on guys that are, it's a tough call but we had Hank and we didn't win anything.
Yeah. Sure. It was a string of goaltenders there that other than Richter never won. And Richter won his cup, but
Beezer was great.
Yep.
Yeah, they had a lot of good goaltending.
Yeah, no, there's a real case for that. Yeah. I'm sure obviously the options are say, okay, we think the window is now for us to win the cup. Now that's debatable. That's their decision to make that. And they say, so, okay, we trade. And especially when they got Quick there. Now he's not the long-term answer, but
could be a short-term.
Yeah.
Get you through this year.
Yeah. So you trade, and depend who have they drafted that they think can be an up-and-coming goaltender.
Yeah, I don't know what they have. But yeah, it was a good point they got.
Yeah. So you can trade Shesterkin, get a boatload for him right now because you still got time left. Because you look at a team like Colorado, they may say, okay, we've got a chance of winning it, or Edmonton. Was Skinner their goaltender? Is he good enough? Now he was last year. He was good enough to get him to the final. So
and who's he? There's another guy.
Yeah, because you kind of wonder now too. If it's true, which I think it is, he turned down 8 years, $11 million a year. Mm-hmm. And now he's still playing well. At the start of the year, he was on fire. Now he's just kind of a good goaltender right now.
Yeah. And a guy like that, it's the playoffs.
Yeah. Oh, totally.
And he could steal games, but ultimately you got to have a team.
Yeah. Yeah, you do. And again, we had this discussion during the summer too. Like again, you compare it to Florida when they won the President's Trophy, 4 years ago. Mm-hmm. but said this isn't the team that's going to win the cup. So they retooled and ultimately went to the finals and then won the cup. So now to the Rangers, and again, that's, everybody's got different vision. Like sometimes people do things when they're doing it, you go, oh, come on, that doesn't. What are you doing? And then it ends up being a great move.
I think it's harder now than it's ever been because of cap restriction.
Yeah.
You got to really figure that all out, and because there's so many teams now. I mean, you made a great point. Well, we all made the playoffs. So it was only 21 teams. Yeah. Now there's a bazillion of them.
I know.
So when you had 21 teams, you had a higher talent pool.
Yeah.
So it's hard to really. I mean, it's kind of like makes it really difficult to put a lineup together between the money issues, and it's a really young league now. I mean, it's a kids league.
Yep. I mean, you have to have that right balance where you've got young kids coming in for a couple of reasons. Obviously, there'll be better players down the road. Plus, they're limited to what they can make, right? So now you're not spending $3 or $4 million on that. Even though that player may be a $3 or $4 million player, he's limited on that entry level salary. So it saves you a lot of money. So, it's tough call. And again, you're right. You can do all things right as a general manager. Like you said, there's a lot of good teams, even out east here, like you with Jersey and Florida is still, Tampa is still running. Carolina, Caps are playing way better. Yeah.
So anybody can make a run, and you got to get to the playoffs. But I just don't, based upon history, this lineup can get to the third round, maybe.
I know.
Maybe.
Yeah. I mean, and listen, things could change. Remember when Washington won it last time? They signed Dominic Smith-Pelly, I think it was the guy, like a fourth liner, and he was on fire, like he's scoring goals. And that's happened. John Druce was like that many years ago.
John Druce, Well, Claude Lemieux against Philly.
Yep. Chris Kontos. Remember Chris Kontos?
Oh, of course, yeah.
But didn't do much in regular season, but playoffs, and they just caught fire. So
did you play? No, Stemmer was gone by the time you got there. Right?
Yep, he was gone. Yep.
But he would score like 2 goals the whole year.
Yeah.
And then in the playoffs, he'd be like.
Yeah, maybe that's the thing. They talked about Chris Osgood, the goaltender in Detroit when they won. Mm-hmm. Apparently, the story is, and I'm careful, this is a story that I hear, that he loved his beverages, his adult beverages during the regular season. So he would be like an average goalie during the regular season, but then he would stop drinking during the playoffs. He turned into.
Could be, yeah. Or maybe the other way around.
Yeah, what I hear is he was. No, it is, and it's a tough. And then listen, there's also with the Rangers too. You have to factor in it's MSG Network. I'm assuming, I don't know this for a fact, but I'm assuming there's a certain level of pressure on to put a team on that is
entertaining.
Yeah. So.
But I mean, I think what you saw, is it Saturday they played.
Yep.
That was entertaining because, like you said, they were playing Smash Mouth. They were playing with an edge.
Yep.
But that's just not who they are. So I mean, it's not going to continue that way. That's the problem.
Yeah, that's really not who they are. Yeah. So you wonder, like with Chuba, for example. Like, okay, so it seems like we touched on this before. That it's so open that they're trying to trade Chuba and Kreider. That the way I read it is that.
Yeah.
And Susan is here as well. Susan Brooks, and her brother is Larry Brooks, and I tell you, when it comes to the Rangers, like he's pretty accurate. He's got his finger on the pulse there.
Yes, he does. Yeah.
So if he's saying that, there's some truth to those rumors. Although again, it almost seems like it's so open. Are they doing it to light a spark or something on the team? I don't know.
And then again, I mean, we've had some big trades over the years that just never, like Rick Nash.
Yeah.
Like, when it happened, I thought, wow, this guy's top.
It's really like this. It's that culture, right? Like you can't to just make a big trade and bring in a big name guy. Just
be the right guy. Got to be the right time.
Like that fourth, when it comes playoff time, that fourth line guy is just as important as the first line guy, right?
Maybe a little more.
Yeah, definitely. How was your Thanksgiving? Everything good?
Good. Yeah. We had a nice. Actually, we had a nice dinner. Quiet.
I know we talked about this? Turkey or no turkey?
Turkey. Yeah.
But stuffing.
Parsnips, which are cool.
Parsnips. What's a parsnip?
It's like if you took a carrot and turned it into a potato, that would be it.
Oh,
it's
okay.
Kind of in between. They're good. Yeah.
Good. Now, so for the first time, I've really gotten into the sourdough bread. I've got it down now. I've realized like it's the temperature of the water, the temperature of the room.
It's a science.
Oh, it is. So like, because I like to keep my house a little bit colder and I keep my sourdough starter on the kitchen counter, which is some granite or stone or something.
Yeah.
So it's cold. So now I wrap mine up in a little blanket almost to keep it at a certain temperature. So now it ferments more. It gets all bubbly in a little bit. Oh man, I've got it done. I made sourdough carrot muffins, sourdough peanut butter cookies.
Oh, they sound good.
You would appreciate this. I know you know this, but I'm going to throw a little bit of language at you to see if you get a little jazzed up here. Lowers your glycemic index, the sourdough.
Yeah.
Is that
lowers your glycemic level?
Damn. I studied this. I thought it was glycemic
because the index is the index.
Okay, so it's the level on the index.
On the index.
I thought I had the proper.
That's pretty good. That's pretty good. No, and you're putting. Like,
so that's basically the sugar. Like that's a carb that turns into sugar. Is that?
Yeah. So real simply, the glycemic index indicates how rapidly your body converts that carbohydrate to glucose or sugar. Yeah.
So the lower the better.
It depends, but in general, yeah. So let's say you're going to perform an athletic event. You want to lower glycemic index so that conversion is at a slow, even pace.
Gotcha.
If you eat something really high, like a Snickers bar, you're going to get all jacked up and then bang, you're going to run out.
So that's why they say that people, when you in restaurants, I don't know if it started off this way, they give you bread. So the bread makes you more hungry because it's the higher. It's not sourdough.
Yeah, I don't know if that's a factor of the glycemic index, but it certainly does. It's an appetite. It does increase your appetite. It may release more ghrelin, which is what makes you get hungry.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, I kind of get jazzed up now with the sourdough thing where I get the temperature. So the water's got to be at 100 degrees when you're feeding it and all that.
Anything fermented is really good for you. I eat pickles every day.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Any kind of fermented food is really sauerkraut's tremendously.
And why is it good for you when it's fermented?
It has to do with your guts.
Right.
You know, bio. That's what I'm looking for. Your gut.
Yeah. It's good for your gut health and everything. Yeah. Definitely. Okay, Florida retooled around Bobrovsky. That's right. Well, they couldn't. You're right. Although the only thing I'd argue there is a little bit, it'd be tough to get rid of him with that contract. But you're right. They didn't panic. They stuck around with him. And
I mean, we're just, and statistics only mean what they mean, right?
Yep.
Is it really an indication of they won with a guy that wasn't a great goaltender as opposed to a guy who is? But it certainly makes you pause and think about it.
Yeah, totally. All right. Let's get on a little politics here. So Hunter Biden. So his father swore that he would, I don't know if he swore, but he said he would not pardon him before, right?
They all did.
So he was on gun charges and tax evasion or something?
Yeah, so the gun charge is when you go to purchase a weapon, you have to get a federal identification card.
Right.
And there's a form you have to fill out. And they ask you, have you any drug problems or whatever, mental health issues? And he said no when he did. He had been in treatment. So that's a federal violation. It's a pretty big one. More concerning is the tax evasion. Now, the reason that this concerning is because it loops into Joe.
Right.
I mean, we all know, look, I'm not going to be political here, but we know what was going on.
Right.
He was taking money from other countries just to be able to get to his father. It's clear. He even said it. So, and what Biden did with the pardon, he backdated it all the way to 2014. And that's when Hunter began working for Burisma. Oh. So any crime he committed potentially or any other connection, it's all.
So almost every president, when he's going out of office, pardons for whatever reason. He grants a whole bunch of pardons. Right. So just the pardon in itself is not that big of a deal. It's something that happens all the time. The fact that it's his son and he said he would not pardon him makes it worse. Right?
I personally think they should do away with it.
Yeah, I've never understood it. Like some of the pardons were like.
I mean, he's not the king.
Yeah.
Not royalty. I don't understand how this is good for a republic. Yeah, I don't understand it.
Yeah, seriously, what's the purpose behind it? Like it's almost like a right or a privilege that each president has. And it seems like it's random that they're just doing it to do it. There's no.
Well, I think a lot of it is favors owed. Like if you look at Bill Clinton, and I'm not going to pick on him, but he pardoned some tax evader that went over to Switzerland. I think his name was Mark Rich. His wife was a huge donator.
Oh yeah,
but it's not only Clinton. I'm sure. They all do it. That's how it works.
Yeah.
Now, think,
I had a fascinating conversation with my son Cody the other day
Mhm.
about both P. Diddy and who's the other guy that got killed in prison? The sex.
that's Jeffrey Epstein.
Epstein. So, and you may have noticed, maybe I'm behind the curve on this one. There's a whole trail there about how they were blackmailing other people with cameras and videos in both cases.
Yeah.
And I didn't, Cody's telling me, he's looking at me like, you didn't know this? And no, I really didn't. I heard stuff about Epstein, but I didn't know P. Diddy was in the same category, where basically they started off like the whole Epstein thing. He had some guy that he blackmailed. And then this guy was a filthy rich guy that had a lot of power. So that really got him started. Interesting stuff.
Yeah, it's real. It's a real deal. You know?
Oh.
Now, see, here's where I think and how the pardon, I'm going to guess, was originally intended. If not, it's really, in my mind, the only way it should be used is posthumously. In other words, like if we look back at Jack Johnson, the fighter, what they did to him was wrong. They took away his title because he married a white woman. So now we can say, no, that was wrong. You know what I mean? Those kinds of things where you clean up things that were done in the past that were wrong. But not, I mean, this is pretty serious stuff this kid did. This man.
And we've touched on this, but both sides have done this in the past. In this cases like murder, guys doing murders and stuff like that to get off.
Yeah. I don't know if there's any limitations on it, but and then he says, well, I'm very proud he's been sober for 5.5 years. Whose cocaine did they find? Come on, stop.
Oh, yeah.
Please stop. Don't stand there and say, I'm not going to pardon him. I'm not going to pardon him. Why pardon him?
Okay.
I mean, that's one thing. But to say, don't put out there that he's like, just move on. Like, you don't have to say, I'm proud of his sobriety. We all know that was his coke. I mean, come on, stop.
Now, there is some argument that because of his drug addiction, the crimes that he committed, there is some precedent set there that he could be treated more leniently because he was an addict and he made mistakes because of that. That's
okay, and that's a valid point. And guess what? Okay, we would have found out during sentencing.
Right. Oh, right.
And let's not forget that going back to May or June, when they tried the case down in was it Delaware? I guess was the federal tax evasion. They presented this, like the defense, Abby Lowell, presented to the court this document where basically they were going to pardon him then. And the judge looked at it. It was a female judge. And she said, "What, has this ever happened before?" And his attorney said, "No." She said, this is crazy. It's preposterous. They tried to get just wipe it clean then, and they failed at it.
Right.
Horribly, they failed at it.
So how about all these charges against Trump? They're now just saying.
Well, no, Alvin Bragg in New York is still saying we're not going to sentence him until later. So they're hanging a sword of Damocles over his head.
But what about all these other cases where they're just letting it go now? Now it was a big thing before. Now
Jack Smith did. Fonnie Willis, the one in Georgia, is still going on. So I mean, this is the American public. This is why Trump won. People are not stupid. I mean, don't say that the laptop was not real because 51 intelligence officers were off on a letter saying it's Russian disinformation when they knew it was real.
Yeah, we know that.
And the FBI held on to that laptop for years, and then get upset when Kash Patel is nominated to take over the FBI, and they're like, "Oh no, well, because you drove it to this point with your corruption."
But what on what grounds? It just seemed that they were so hell bent on prosecuting Trump, and now they just dropped the majority of them. They're just dropped now, all the charges.
Well, really, the only one they dropped was the Jack Smith case. The New York ones are still standing, and Georgia's still standing. I don't know what's going on. So the document case was Mar-a-Lago, and just think of that. They went through Melania's room. They went through Barron's room. I mean, it was all for show. And of course, it makes great television for CNN and MSNBC, who, by the way, both those, MSC in particular, they're in big trouble. I mean, their viewership dropped like over 50%. People are on to it.
Here's the other thing, too. Here's one of my favorite shows now, The View. And I mean this very seriously. I think it's like the best entertainment out there.
Of course.
Like I don't believe that they're having a hard time with the ratings. Maybe they are, because for me, I never watched it before, but I can't wait to watch it now. I think it's fantastic.
Well, it's comical.
And you know what? I do give credit to. Here's the thing. So the woman on the right there, very child, she's a very intelligent woman. She is. Whether you
Oh,
like,
yeah.
I don't agree with her politics. I don't agree with anybody's politics on the show. The blonde, she's a very intelligent. The one who is getting in trouble lately, the lawyer,
Sonny Hostin.
Sonny, she's a very intelligent woman. Now, again, her politics are just way off as far as I'm concerned. But as far like she's an intelligent person.
Pretty angry person.
What's that?
Pretty angry person.
Oh, terribly. Joy, what is it, Joy Behar? Oh
man, that's 9 miles of bad road. I'm sorry.
What's that, sir?
That's 9 miles of bad road.
She's an angry woman, man.
Yeah.
But you wonder, okay, and this isn't wrong. They're not the only ones to do it. How much of it is contrived? Like, do they really feel that way, or they're saying, "Hey, this is good TV. You really have to go after."
So I said this to Beth last night. Let's not lose this sight. They're actors.
Yeah.
I mean, where else could Whoopi Goldberg make $8 million a year?
Oh, I know. Yeah. When I heard what they were making, I'd go, sure, they're doing what now?
Yeah, you want
like,
to do that.
And that's a very good way to put it. They are actors, just like any other actor. Kevin Costner.
Well, here's, like the actor thing, right? So the Harris campaign gave Beyonce $10 million to make a $3 million speech. Now think of that for a minute. Do you think Stallone was paid by Trump to endorse him? No. So you're saying words that you don't really truly believe when you're endorsing somebody. Therefore, I mean, you're an actor.
Right. Yeah.
Beyonce's an actor, singer, whatever, but she's an actress. George Clooney. All of a sudden, we got to listen to what he's got to say. I mean,
how about this? How about the women are blaming Trump that they're getting sterilized, and not saying they're blaming Trump for that? It's come on, it's entertaining though.
It is. It really is. And it's sad that people go to that length. Forgetting he was in office for 4 years and nothing near what they're claiming is about to happen.
So now here's the thing too, and I to me, if I was a president, I'd be doing the same thing. He's really, all his nominees are people that are loyal to him, right?
Well, that's what, of course.
Yeah, but like different people that are not the normal politicians.
They're not the bureaucrats.
They're outside the box.
Yeah,
but they're very loyal to him. So they're thinking, and I think to myself, yeah. That's the people voted for Trump.
Here's it, for instance.
They voted for Trump because he said that's what he's going to. That's what the people wanted. They voted for him.
It's a mandate. Everybody's up in arms about Pete Hegseth.
Oh.
And anybody and any veteran out there, I'd love to hear your thoughts on this. But I think the common thought is when you get up to 3-star and 4-star, you're no longer military. You're a politician. You're a bureaucrat.
Yeah.
And Pete's not at that level. So Pete can go in there with clear vision and really see it for what it is.
Yeah.
Because he's not looking to get that $3 million job a year when he gets out
with all these nominees. It isn't just them that are making the decision. There's a whole team of people that are brought together to make those decisions. So if he doesn't know something,
there's a few picks that I'm not really over the top with, but there's some I'm really enthused. Pete being one of them, and Kash Patel being the other one. I think they're going to do tremendous jobs.
How about his son's father-in-law? He named for France.
Ambassadorship, big deal.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. I think, what do they really do anyway?
Name the current ambassador to France.
I know. Yeah. Really? Why do we even have ambassadors, right?
Yeah, I mean, that's another thing. We want to cut money, cut them out. We don't do that. That's ridiculous.
Somebody was reporting that the rumor was that Biden is trying to give the nukes back to Ukraine. Is that? Now, they're not saying they're doing it. The rumor was that he's trying to get them back.
And there's a nuance to that. We did not take them from Ukraine. We took them from the Soviet Union.
Oh.
So when the Soviet Union collapsed, we took the nukes.
When you were part of Russia.
Yeah, yeah. So the nuclear thing is a very scary thought. But I think the reason that we're still here, you have to remember, we've had this capability since 1946. Right? And it's never been used yet because we understand the horrific nature of what it is. And it's a suicide mission. No one survives.
Well, that's what I'm thinking to myself. We make all this noise about the nukes.
Yeah.
Is anybody really crazy enough to?
I mean, it's possible, but highly unlikely.
Yeah.
I think there's more chance of a mistake happening. A launch that wasn't supposed to occur. And most people know the most recent one was 2004. The Russians, because it wasn't Soviet Union, the Russians picked up on the radar incoming. And it happened to be a weather balloon coming out of Finland. And they were like 3 minutes away from launching.
Oh, is that right?
It was up to a general, and the general said, he said, "I take a gamble on this, but I don't think it's real."
How about like if Kamala Harris was drunk one night, she was president, and
leaned up against the button.
that most recent video of her.
Oh, she was hammered.
Oh,
God bless her.
Why would they let that go out there after that?
It's like really crazy. Yeah, I don't get it.
Let me see. Susan's up on or Barry was on the nukes this morning. The U.S. has decided not to send the nukes. But why would it even be
in conversation? Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it might be just messing with Putin, but I think we're probably better off not messing with him.
Well, what's the? I guess because Trump's coming in and everybody knows Trump and him get along.
See, here's the thing. I read the business section before I read any part of it because that's really what's you follow the money, and they'll give you answers to any question you have. And they're in an economic crisis right now, Russia. So now that Trump gets in, and he's
okay, but you say you're in an economic crisis. In what way? Like what? What do you mean?
Well, it's funding this war.
Oh,
yeah. And here's the thing. And if you go back to this Star Wars thing with Reagan, the reason the Soviet Union collapsed, we didn't beat them on the battlefield. We economically we collapsed them because they were trying to keep up technologically with their ICBMs, and it was such an arms race. We could afford it at a great cost, but they didn't have and they still don't. They're a gas station. You turn off their gas, their ability to sell energy, they're done. And when Trump gets in, he's going to slap them
I
down.
hear that's what everybody's trying to want us to think, that they're not. I hear other people say that they're not in that bad of a shape. But that's, yeah.
Well,
Magical creature Deb Anderson, how are you?
California has a larger economy than Russia.
See, I don't buy all that.
No, it's true. Just look at the numbers. Look at GDP.
You've seen the
if you look at the GDP of California, it's higher than the GDP of all of Russia.
How do you know that? Have you seen the books for Russia? It's Russia.
Well, I mean,
okay, I shouldn't argue with you that way. I'm more.
The reason
here's what we get fed all this information about Russia, about China, and then other people say that's just not true at all. I mean, that's what they want us to think about Russia. That's what they want us to think about China.
But I mean, with Russia, it's pretty easy to identify because we see what's happened in the past. When we turn off their ability to do this stuff, they're not aggressive. They don't have the money for it. It costs a lot of money to fund the war. I mean, a lot of money.
I think to me, it's as much the money, it's more the bodies too. I hate to say it like that, but it's
he doesn't care about that, you know.
Well,
in fact, when I was in Singapore,
but hold on, how many? Apparently, they had I can't remember the number. 2 million people, or 2 million members of the military, whatever. They're talking like they've lost 600,000. Mm-hmm. That's what I'm talking about is that whether he cares or not, it's irrelevant. Does he have enough people to fight the war?
Well, at some point, the public's going to say, "I don't want to lose my son to this. This is nonsense." You know.
In Russia?
Yeah. No, it's different. Yeah.
But, I read there's an article where a lot of the Ukrainian soldiers are going AWOL.
Oh, sure. Yeah. Sure.
And you got to wonder because they're not, if they know what's going on, this isn't about some.
It's a very strange conflict.
Well, it isn't about some greater purpose. It's about money.
Always is.
Yeah.
That's all war is.
Yeah.
Yeah. Haves and have-nots. Just think of humanity. Like, you're less likely to be aggressive and more likely to get fat if you're very wealthy because you got security. But if you're living on the streets and you're eating one meal a day, man, you get pretty nasty. Right?
How about our boy Trump too? He says, okay, we're gonna have a 25% tariff on Canada and Mexico. All of a sudden, he's having meetings with the head of Mexico, and they say, okay, we're gonna shut down the borders. And
that's the thing about him. You don't know. He says
this stuff because he's negotiating. He's a businessman. Yeah,
exactly.
And that's if anybody's dealt in the New York City at all and you've negotiated kind of deals, that's the way it works.
I mean, there's a lot of stories about how he ripped people off and stuff, but I'm sure he did. Yeah. He was able to. He was able to do it. He worked it. He's not the only guy. I mean, they all do it. Yeah.
If you get the ability to save money, you do it.
And they're notorious. Builders. Back when I was a kid, we did some subcontract. My friend Eric and I did some subcontract. We did siding. We were doing roofing, and a guy said, "Could you side those houses?" It's a builder, and every time, I forgot to check.
Oh,
finally we had enough, and I went over with my buddy who was a heavyweight at the time, was still fighting. It was a holiday. I think it was Thanksgiving. Knocked on the guy's door, and he came up. He was like, he didn't see Scott with me, and he goes, "Yeah, what do you want?" I go, "I want my check." He shut the door. I knocked on the door, and he opens up, and then Scott stood out, and he went, "I'll be right back."
I'm trying to sell my car. I love my car, but it's got some transmission issues. So I listed it. Some dealership called me and they said, I told them what I wanted for it. They said, "Oh, we can't give you that. It's listed. It's got 2 accidents listed on it," which it doesn't.
Yeah.
And I just go, "Yeah, nice try. We'll talk to you later."
Yeah. There you
I
go.
hate when people do that. Oh, God.
Well, and this is what we were talking about last time too. I said to Beth, look, no one's coming for you. So no one's going to come to your rescue when you try to sell your car.
Oh.
You got to really just take care of business on your own. Everybody's a crook. And like, here's a perfect example how skewed things are in this world. So Saturday's paper, big article about this drug. They're so excited about because this drug mimics the effect of breathing exercises and meditation.
Let's say that again, sorry.
There was a big article about a drug that they've developed that if you take this drug, it mimics the benefits that you're going to get from breathing exercises and meditation. Think of that. Just do the, yeah.
It's the same thing with, what is it? What's the weight loss drug?
Ozempic.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
Why not just, like, instead of spending the money on Ozempic, have a program put together to train people how to train, how to eat properly, and then it will be the old story. Just cure it forever. You won't have to.
Well, it starts in school. I think kids only have phys ed like once a week now or something.
Well, and the foods are feeding them at the. I think we talked about this. I saw a great video talking about they went over to Japan, and a guy, again, how true is this? I'm assuming it's true. Was saying he asked the kids over there, "What's your favorite food?" And they would go like cauliflower or broccoli, and the guy thought that the kids were kind of playing with him. And then he does the same thing over here, and it's French fries, and cheeseburgers, and all that. But they're raised to not believe that those meats are good for you.
Yeah, kids will eat what you get.
Carvana, I saw that. Yeah, made good money so much. Okay,
thank
you, Keith. Thank you. I'll do that. Yeah. Problem is that mine's been sitting there for a while, so now the battery's gone dead. It's like, oh God,
you got to start it up every once in a while. Just run it.
Thank you. Where were you like 6 months ago? Tell me that.
It's probably in the woods.
Right, yeah. Definitely.
We went for a hike, me, Bill, and Brad, Saturday morning. Yeah, a good 6 miles.
You posted a picture of that too, the 3 of you.
Yeah. We had a good morning. It was a good hike.
You guys all naked together, weren't you, or something?
Yeah, well, we lube up with bacon fat.
You do the Diddy thing.
Yeah.
Get the oil on fire. Yeah. I mean, I tell you, the more you dig in, and we've talked about this all subjects, but it's like the whole sex thing and pedophilia in Hollywood and all that. It's like, geez, sick.
It's mind-boggling, and this is something that, all kidding aside, the 320,000 kids missing under this administration. That's a horrific, and for them not to even address it, and for the media just to completely, no big deal.
Yeah.
320.
I tell you, that is one of the subjects in our country where abuse, pedophilia. It's kind of like people don't want to deal with it, right? It's like, okay, we know it's there, but we're not going to talk about it. Where it's a huge issue, man. It's
something needs to be done.
Let me see here, everybody. Keith, next hike we do at Ramapo, we need an ice plunge in the lake. Oh, there you go.
Yeah, I'm down.
Do you believe in the ice plunge and the benefits of the? Yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. Some of those things.
Don't do it on a first date.
Yeah, some of those theories have kind of been debunked. Like, not everybody believes in fasting as much anymore. There's more.
Yeah, but they still believe in the moon landing. I mean,
Yeah, I know.
There's always going to be people that there's a certain section of population that when you show them something that doesn't cost you any money, that's actually healthy for you, they're not going to believe you.
Well, but that's okay. So I'm going to be the contrarian here.
Okay.
And I think that's with good reason. Like, I'm turning into a little person. I just don't believe things anymore. Just because somebody tells me that, especially online on social media, I just find like there's so many guys that are just like, everybody's like, this is the number one thing you need to do to be healthy, right? Like it's you need the
there's no
sauna and all that kind of stuff.
I agree. There's no magic bullet, but that ice plunge could be part. If that's the only thing you're doing for health, it's going to help you a little bit. But if it's part of a whole lifestyle with eating and exercise and all, like I try to get out every day, and after we get done here, I do some work. I'm going to go for walks. I want to get in the sun.
Oh yeah,
you should get sunlight every day if it's out there.
Yeah.
Cost you nothing.
But it is amazing, and I agree with you on the whole sun thing. But there's a lot of people though that still believe no, the sun is bad for you.
But it's our only
The
source of
sun's going to give you melanoma, right?
Yeah, no, it's the sunscreen that gives you cancer.
No, I agree. But if I've made that statement to people, and people, no, that's not true at all.
Do you remember Physohex when you were a kid? Remember it came in a green? It was called Physohex. Came in like a green squeeze bottle, and like if you got cut or something like that, you squeeze that on there. Turned out it was cancer causing, like the chemicals in it. But when they were selling it, it was like, this is great stuff. So.
But again, just to be clear though, there's a lot of people like with the sunscreen, for example. I've had that conversation with people. I was out at a golf tournament, the Ranger golf tournament. I said that to people. I said, that stuff's cancer causing. Nope, not true at all. And now they would come back with data claiming how I was wrong and they were right. So I say that only because there's so much, there's so many different opinions out there, and people, especially with social media, make it sound like their side is the correct side, right? They're right.
Well, everybody's trying to hustle a buck, but data, whose data is it? Data from the sunscreen manufacturer?
Yeah, totally.
Like the FDA, and this is what they're talking about doing now. The FDA, blow it up. They're so corrupted. I mean, they take money from all these like sugar lobby and this and that. I mean, this is how they write a white paper. Going back to 1963, Harvard University got 100 grand, which was a lot of money back then, to do a study on sugar. And basically they were saying the implicit bias is you're going to tell us it's okay for us.
Oh, yeah. Let's say like the whole global warming thing and climate change that you don't know what to believe now. Oh my God.
As far as climate change, I'll say this. I don't think we can control the climate. Should we pollute? Absolutely not. I mean, there are things we can do, but just to make a knee-jerk reaction and go from fossil fuels, which power the earth, and it brought countries literally out of poverty, being able to produce energy through coal, got them out of poverty and to say now we're all going to be on electric.
Yeah, no, I agree. Well, even electric, you talk about electric cars.
Power's going to come from somewhere.
Cobalt mining and all that, yeah. That's an interesting kind of dynamic there with Trump and Elon Musk together, right? Because Trump wants to get the fossil fuels going a little bit more, and then Eli's got his Elon. I tell you, he's fascinating. Like when he gets up and laughs about paying a $12 million tax bill,
that's kind of cool.
He's kind of proud about that. Like he says, I've set a record. $12 billion tax bill. Or whatever it was.
Yeah. I mean, so look, whatever's about to occur, it can only be an improvement of what we've seen in the past 4 years.
Yeah, I tell you, I love when you get fired up about politics. Yeah.
Well, because there was a time when it really didn't directly affect you as much as it does now. Now it directly affects you. Think what they did to us in COVID.
Yeah. Again, we've touched on this too. It's like now, and it's like with the media too, at least in the past, there was an attempt to at least hide their bias one way or the other. Now it's open. Like, Fox is Trump, everybody else.
They're all in trouble because of podcasts. Nobody's like, no one watches the news anymore. They watch Joe Rogan.
Yeah.
And then they get mad at him.
Oh, I know. He's good. And he's been good. He's been good. Is smart, whether he's doing it on purpose or not, to not go so far to the left or so far against the left. Like he has his opinion, but he lets everybody else have their opinion as well.
Because Joe is the guy in the gym that you're talking to in between sets.
Yeah.
Right? And it's definitely, I would say it's a guy channel more than anything else.
Yeah. Although there's a lot of women. Like it's amazing all the women that post videos that really into Trump, like doing the Trump dance and everything.
Oh yeah.
That's classic. The whole Trump dance is classic, right? How far that's gone.
It's like the new Icky Shuffle.
Yeah. Icky Shuffle. Remember the commercial that they had in the grocery store where Icky was doing the shuffle?
Yeah.
Oh, that's funny. How about the other one? They had the camel. It's what day is it? What day is it? It's hump day.
Oh yeah.
Hump day, the camel, the hump.
Yep.
Yes, that seems pretty funny. Man, we've gone for almost an hour already babbling away here. Man. All right, so we get the Rangers tonight in New Jersey.
Yeah, that's gonna be. Well, I think this may cost people jobs if certain things don't happen.
You know what though, and I'm glad you said it that way. And I'm not arguing you necessarily, but if they're making a decision off one game, and I know you're not saying this, but it's more like you've got to take a look and say a long-term, right? And see whatever. what a team is.
Now I'm wondering, do you think they'll bring up or any Rempe because McDermott?
I don't know. It's just like, and I'm not agreeing with it, but if you're going to bring Rempe up and only play him 3 or 4 minutes, there's no purpose, right?
Well, I disagree.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because it's just the potential of him being out there. I mean, if you think back, I mean, like, how many minutes did guys like Proby get?
Played all the time. He was an
Well,
all, he was an
he
all-star.
could play.
Yeah.
That's true. He had 20-goal
I
season.
mean, that's the thing. So that's part of it. Like, if you're going to have a guy like that, you've got to play him a certain amount, though, right? I mean, you can't.
I don't
But
know.
back in the day, it was different, where you could have a fourth line that you hardly played at all. You can't do that now. Your fourth line's got to play a certain number of minutes, right? So,
Here's the difference, too, I think. Back then, you're a tough guy, you're an enforcer, whether it's Stu Grimson, Dave Brown, any one of those guys. All their lives, they were still the best player on their team.
yeah.
I don't think it's that way anymore.
Yeah. Yeah. Kids didn't grow up being fighters, right? They grew up being hockey players. And turned it, at MSG tonight, our girl Susan says, Thank you. Let me see here. How close is I listen, I don't know any insider information. I don't think you're looking at the coach right now. I mean, you had Jared Gallant, you've got Lavalette. These coaches have proven that they've won before. If the team's not, I think the coach gets too much credit when they win, they get too much blame when they lose. I mean, it's just players got to go play.
I think my knock with him is that his belief that veterans will work through their problems.
Yeah.
Like with this, Zibanejad should be a scratch. Something's got to be said to him. He's got to get a message. Listen, I don't think he's not trying. I think he's squeezing it so tight now. He just can't get anything done.
Okay, so good point. So then if you scratch him, what does that do to help him in his confidence?
I think it makes him realize that this is really bad and you've got to figure something out. You know, the whole notion of like Laviolette letting him play through it. Well, we're losing games that way. And it also sends a message to the rest of the team. So if I'm like a guy like, I think Laffy should be on that first unit on a power play. And then he sees the same old, tired, 3 feet off the wall, shot wide. And he's always missing short side, which, on a power play, all you're doing is rimming it for the other team. Right? Yeah. And everybody, his brother knows, even a casual fan, that's the play. Get it to him for one time.
But and I hear you, but things have changed so much. The personality of players, like the sensitivity, like coaches now take into account their sensitivity. Again, I don't want to speak for Lavalette. Where in the past, the coach didn't care if you're sensitive or not. If you're not playing, you're on the ice. You're not playing. But that's all changed now, whether it's good or bad or not. So,
yeah. I mean, I don't know the guy. I'm sure he's a good guy and all that. I'm sure he's really trying hard. It's just there's something in his head.
I think he's a sensitive guy, really. But leave Rempe in Hartford. He's not NHL ready. Okay, Susan.
You're probably right, Susan. But Rempe's not. Boy, they're not easy to find. But guys like Tom Wilson or Olivier out in Columbus, those are the guys you want. You're a tough guy because they're the old style. They could play.
Right. So, and the other guy in Columbus, and there's a guy in Philly too that's tough. Are they players too? Can they play? Are they?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. I mean, a third line. I mean, but they're pretty good players.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That is the thing. That's the hard part now. Because again, like talking about the old days, you could have a goon on the bench and only play him 2 or 3 minutes, and he knew that was his job when he got out there was to get the crowd out of it.
To fight the other guy.
Yeah.
Tonight, you can see Rempe fight McDermott, but if you're playing, I don't know, Long Island.
Yeah.
Totally.
All right, everybody. So Thanksgiving, man, it's time is going fast. Thanksgiving, now Christmas is coming up in a minute.
This Saturday, I have a Christmas party I have to attend already.
Oh.
Yeah.
I've got this. So I made the turkey soup right away too. Turkey noodle soup. Oh.
Yeah. Do you put a tree up in your place?
No.
Okay.
I have a dancing Santa that I put up.
There you go. That's all you need.
Yeah, totally. Yeah. All right, everybody have a fantastic week. Again, it's a holiday season. We lost Mark there. I know he has his work call at 1:00, but again, it's a holiday season. Let's make sure we're taking care of everybody. All our best to the family of the young boy out in Long Island that lost his life too. So, everybody have a fantastic week. We will see you next Monday.